The University of Sioux Falls celebrates Halloween.
USF Graphic Design students design for charity.
And one professor gives students the opportunity to bring Christmas all over the world.
All this and more coming up next on College Week.
From the Jeske Fine Arts Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls, this is College Week. With Sarah Bettinger, Lindsay Elston, and John Vanentop Sports.
Good morning, I'm Lindsay Elston.
And I'm Sarah Bettinger, and Lindsay, we got a great show coming up. Hannah Olson sits down with Social Studies Professor Bob Barkley.
That's right, we're going to be talking about some more can art opportunities we have on campus, Spook Week. A lot of good stuff.
Should be awesome. And throughout the week, USF students have been participating in events leading up to Halloween this weekend. Last Saturday, students joined together for the Halloween dance put on in Java City. Best group went to the group dressed as the Peter Pan Gang, and the best costume were the Sullivan Hall RAs dressed as cereal box characters. On Tuesday, there was pumpkin carving in GI, and last night was bingo in Java City. The week will be capped off with trick-or-treating at 4 today, with a haunted library experience in the Mears Library to follow. And Lindsay, you were at the dance, so what can you tell us about it?
I was there. It was a lot of fun. Everyone was dressed up. We had one kid who actually was a Furby, so bringing back some childhood memories there. It was pretty good, yeah. Right. Well, following the activities at USF, students will get a rest from their busy schedules with fall break this weekend. Students will not have class Monday, October 31st or Tuesday, November 1st, with the regular class schedules resuming Wednesday, November 2nd. The cafeteria will close right after lunch this Friday for the break and will reopen Tuesday evening. Students that need to stay on campus during that hour break must get permission from their building residence director.
Students, it's already that time of year again. Registration for spring and interim classes is coming up in a couple of weeks, so don't forget to meet with your advisor and check your MyUSF page for registration dates and times. Registration will begin on November 9th for students with 90 or more credit hours and will unofficially conclude on November 16th for freshmen or those with 16 credit hours or fewer.
Can art make a difference? The USF Art Department recently started a fundraising event here on the USF campus. With more on the story, here's William Markson.
The University of Sioux Falls Art Department is taking a step to help the hungry of South Dakota in a non-traditional way. It's called Can Art Make a Difference? USF art professor Jan Hildebrand explains more about the project.
Can Art is an artistic food drive. It was a project that was chosen by my graphic design class, and we are coordinating a food drive on campus. On November 11th, we'll be taking all the food that we collect from campus, and we'll be taking it to the Empire Mall.
The food is not only going to be donated to feed the hungry, but it is also going to be used in an artistic competition.
On November 12th, all the food will be, kind of put together in a truck and shipped out to the Empire Mall here, where we'll be building out in front of the JCPenney's wing. And our sculpture, we kind of wanted to represent USF as well as, our food drive mission and our school's mission, Culture for Service. So putting all that together, we decided to take Cooper, our cougar mascot, and have him kind of leaning on the USF there, presenting a can of food to the hungry of Sioux Falls.
There are 3 locations where you can bring your food: the Mears Library lobby, the Cleveland Center lobby, and the Java City stage. For College Week, I'm William Markson.
Coming up next, USF students play basketball for Kids Against Hunger.
Don't go away. Students from USF are putting on a 3-on-3 basketball tournament that will benefit Kids Against Hunger. Kids Against Hunger is an organization that feeds families around the world by making food packages made of rice, soy, and vitamins. Then the organization ships it to areas like Haiti and even right here in the Sioux Empire. The tournament will be on November 5th at 4 p.m. in the Stewart Center. Get a team of 4 people and register to play and pay $20 to benefit Kids Against Hunger. Sign up by emailing Troy Klongerbo or Skylar Block to play some basketball for a great cause.
USF students will soon have the opportunity to choose study abroad trips over interim. Professor Diane Vandenover will be leading students to Puerto Rico January 8th through January 28th. The trip costs $2,000 total, and there is a payment plan set up from now to December 16th. While in Puerto Rico, students will have around 50 to 20 hours of class per week. We'll be able to see sites of historic and cultural interest, and we'll even have time to relax on the beach in the sun.
And now USF College Week reporter Eric Carlson takes a moment to talk to a chiropractor about what he believes true health to be.
Let's face it, we've all experienced physical pain or discomfort at some point in our life. Whether from an accident or maybe a sports-related injury, we just can't avoid it. But yet for one local chiropractor, it's become his passion.
My biggest thing is I want to explain exactly why people are having the problems. If you're in Sioux Falls, even if you just go to a chiropractor, that's my passion.
And when it comes to sports health, Dr. Wubin sees chiropractic care from a different angle.
Because you have to look at a few different things. When an injury happens right away, let's talk about, I have a few rugby patients. And rugby, if you've seen it, that's a pretty rough sport. You know, no pads, head-on-head collisions, you know. And quite honestly, after I went into chiropractic school, I started watching rugby from a different kind of perspective.
But just what is Dr. Wubin's perspective?
I wanted to find something that I could help people with, use more of a natural resource. I've seen a lot of commercials over time where things would help with certain symptoms, but you'd end up with side effect, side effect, side effect, side effect.
And so for someone who was looking to lend a helping hand, Dr. Wubin found a way not just to repair life, but to improve upon it.
When you start talking about what actual lifestyle is and quality of life, not being drugged up, not having the side effects, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't trade this profession for the world. I absolutely love this.
Reporting for USF College Week, I'm Eric Carlson.
As the holiday season draws near, students have found a way to help others, here, at home, and around the world. College Week's Beth Salisbury has more.
Last year, about 11 million boxes were given out around the world. This year, we'd like to see more than that.
This year, students at the University of Sioux Falls get the chance to participate in Operation Christmas Child. Bob Barclay, instructor of social sciences at USF, says this project reaches around the world to help those in need.
Operation Christmas Child is sponsored by Samaritan Purse, which is an agency within the United States that reaches around the world helping people.
Barclay says the idea to go campus-wide originated from his classroom.
About 5 years ago, I had it in my classroom or classrooms telling my students about it. This year we'd like to go campus-wide. Many in my classes have taken boxes and we're starting to see them come in. We hope to have about 100 boxes from campus.
Barclay encourages students to join forces for this project.
It's a great opportunity to give a little bit to the community and to the world. It doesn't have to be extravagant. I'm encouraging students to go together.
Boxes need to be returned in between November 14th and 18th in the bottom of the Norman B. Mears Library in Robert Barclay's office. For College Week, I'm Beth Salisbury.
Coming up next, Hannah Olson sits down with Bob Barkley on Crosstalk.
Don't go away.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of USF Crosstalk. I'm Hannah Olson. Sitting down with me this morning is instructor of social sciences here at USF, Bob Barkley. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Good, thanks.
Good. Thanks for being here this morning.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, you are the organizer of the Citizens Network Against the Event Center, and can you tell us what that is?
Citizens Network is a small group of people that is opposed to building the event center in the coming years. Our major focus is on educating the people of the costs and whether or not it is practical.
Okay. What led you to organize the group?
Well, there's two major reasons. One, no one in the community had come forward and was talking about it, and I felt like we need to have some other points of view. And secondly, tell my students to be involved in government. This was a good opportunity for me to be involved.
Cool. So what are some of the main campaign points of the network has?
The two major points are, this is an expensive want, not a need, and secondly, it's the wrong time. What I mean by expensive want is the simple fact that Sioux Falls has the arena and the convention center, and we really don't need a third facility at this time. It's wrong in the sense that the economy is in a downturn or economic downturn, and secondly, the cost will be bared by the people of Sioux Falls.
Okay. So in this, this is a special election we're having technically.
Ballot issue.
Yeah, a ballot issue. In time, it's hard enough to get a good turnout for a regular election. What are some of the things that like the network is doing to help push the vote?
Right now, it looks like the absentee ballots have set a record for Sioux Falls. The absentee voting has been going on since September, 6 weeks before the election, and something like 3,000 people have voted already, which is a record. The second point or idea is we've been going door to door throughout Sioux Falls, and will continue this Saturday. If someone would be interested in coming along or participating, handing out flyers. I've been speaking at various civic groups and service groups around the city, and it's worked out quite well.
So how did the actual issue get to be on the ballot? And it might be kind of partly my ignorance in not keeping up, but how did it?
Well, City Council proposed, the mayor really proposed it, and then the City Council has followed through and brought about the concept of this event center. The event center will be built at the arena. Initially that was controversial. Some wanted it downtown, some wanted it at the arena, some wanted it out by the interstates, or junction point of Interstate 29 and Interstate 90. But the council voted in a 5-4 vote, with the mayor casting the ultimate vote to build it at the arena. Part of that reason was the cost at the arena seems to be less than at other facilities.
Okay. Why do you think it's important that citizens actually get to vote on this and kind of make the decision whether we build it or not?
Well, it's a $184 million investment in the community, including interest. The original cost is $115 million. The additional cost is the interest, making $184 million. This will be done over 22 years to 2033. And the investment comes out of the second penny sales tax. And the second penny sales tax is used by the city for capital improvements. And capital improvements are roads, sanitation systems, different needs, parks and rec. And so it's developing quite a bit. It'll be about $9 million a year starting in 2017.
Wow. So do you think if the money issue wasn't an issue, do you think the event center would be a good thing for Sioux Falls?
I have no problem with the event center. I just think it's the wrong time. Too many people are underemployed, too many people are unemployed, and it's an economic downturn. And I think it's a little foolhardy on our part to go ahead with the event center at this time. Might I just encourage everyone to vote in the next 2 weeks. The election is November 8, but you can go to the county courthouse and vote, and it's a good thing. I always tell crowds, make sure you get down and vote. If it was Chicago, we'd tell them to vote often, but this isn't Chicago, this is Sioux Falls.
Okay, we're about ready to wrap up here real quick, but one last question. Who can vote in the event center election?
Anybody that lives in Sioux Falls.
Okay, so that includes?
If they're registered to vote. So it's the community around Sioux Falls that'll be making this decision in the coming days.
Alrighty, okay, well thank you so much for your time, Bob. We're out of time now, but that wraps up another edition of USF Crosstalk. Coming up is John Vandentop with sports.
And now we go to John Vandentop for sports.
So John, I know you're one of the cameramen at the football games, and I know that kind of takes away from the game experience, but nonetheless, the stats don't lie. It was a pretty all-around dominant effort by the Cougars, wouldn't you say?
I would definitely say so. You look at the score, 71-0. That's impressive regardless of what scale you're playing on or who you're playing, but you're one of the cameramen as well. Don't sell yourself short.
I won't.
Adds a whole new dimension to watching that football game.
It does.
This past weekend, the University of Sioux Falls Cougars football team beat South Dakota School of Mines and Technology with an impressive score of 71-0. The win improved the team's record to 4-3 on the year after earning a 4th straight victory. The Cougars' defense held the Hard Rockers to only 70 yards of total offense. The Cougars forced 4 turnovers and 1 safety as well. Quarterback Taylor Perkins led the Cougars on offense with 235 total yards and 6 touchdowns. Wideouts Jeremiah Oates caught 3 receiving touchdowns, and Michael Hicks added a 90-yard punt return for a score. The Cougs look to continue their hot streak this weekend against Minot State. The teams met earlier this year with USF coming out on top 38-23. The basketball season is just around the corner, and the USF women's basketball team is looking to transition their winning ways into Division II. The Cougars are returning 4 starters from last year's team, who won a school record 27 games and made it to the NAIA Elite 8. The regular season doesn't start until November 12th, but on Tuesday, the Cougars will travel to Fargo, North Dakota and take on UND in an exhibition game. Thankfully, though, these athletes know there is more to life than basketball. And this past summer, the team traveled to Guatemala to do mission work. With more on the story, here's College Week sports reporter Sam Tastad.
Recently, the University of Sioux Falls women's basketball team took a mission trip to Guatemala, led by athletic chaplain Tom Gailey. Gailey says their trip was a rare opportunity.
Our kids have that kind of heart that they want to share what they've been given and what they've been blessed with. And sometimes you just aren't stretched and you're not given those opportunities. And so I really felt that our girls really had this opportunity to go, and they embraced it when we shared with them the idea of doing something like this. So I really think that was a major influence in that.
Senior guard Vanessa Johnson was not sure she would go on the trip at first, but says God had bigger plans.
So I kind of prayed about it, just thinking, is this for me? Am I going to be able to raise enough money? And then it came up where I raised money fairly easy. It came to me, and so it's kind of a sign that God's like, yep, I need you to go.
Johnson was humbled by the experience, especially the unselfish and grateful spirit of the children.
Little boy from the orphanage, they have all these bracelets that they have on their wrist. He comes up to me and asks me if I wanted his little bracelet. And I was like, oh no, you can have, no, I want you to have it. He forced me to have it, but yet they still have nothing, but they want to give you everything. And so it's kind of a wake-up call to me and wake-up call to our team, I think, that life isn't so rough.
This trip meant a lot to the team, and according to senior Betsy Hildreth, it has opened the gates to serve around the area.
And it's really given me like a heart to serve in the Sioux Falls community. So as a team, actually, we're going to do like service projects once a month. Like if it's going to serve at a banquet, do Kids Against Hunger. When we go on some of our trips, we're going to try and get into like a school in Las Vegas and help out there. So I think it's really been a positive impact for the whole team and how we're going to approach the rest of our lives even.
Head coach Travis Traphagen says this was a memorable trip and reflects on how we should all be thankful for what we have.
And more than anything, I think, not just for the kids, but myself and our coaching staff, just kind of one of those trips that you'll always remember, making a difference for kids and just seeing how fortunate, I guess, we really are when we come back and see how poverty-stricken some people are.
For College Week Sports, I'm Sam Taston.
So Hannah, what can we expect to see next week on Crosstalk?
Well, I believe Beth Salisbury is going to be sitting down with someone, so it should be another great interview.
Nice.
Excellent. And John, what can we expect coming up in sports?
Well, like I said, we got the Cougars playing Minot State this weekend, but I know you want me to say it. Broncos play the Lions this week. Tim Tebow's second start of the season.
Maybe
be a
some
good
more
game.
late game magic from Tim.
Could be.
This
Let's hope it's a little closer throughout the whole game.
I will take that.
All right.
take that. And that wraps up another edition of College Week. I'm Sarah Bettinger.
And I'm Lindsay Elston. Have a great day.